Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to your online English class. This is your teacher Ms. Prehe Javed Chandyo. Today we will continue learning our very first unit, that is Unit 1 Language and Communication. You can find this unit in your students book page 7. This unit explores different ways in which we use language, why we learn languages, as well as various types of communication. You are listening to lesson 2 of Unit 1. In this part of the lesson, you will read about different languages around the world. Before moving on, let's look at the roadmap of this lesson. We'll see the learning outcome of this lesson. We'll see which activities we'll be doing in this lesson. We'll know the difference between language and communication. We will read about world languages. There will be some post-lesson tasks for you as a homework. And then we'll have a short overview of next lesson. The learning outcome for this part of the lesson is, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify the key information in a text by reading about world languages. The activities for this lesson are present in your student's book and your workbook. Before reading about world languages, let's first clear our concepts about language and communication. Language and communication are interrelated. The method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of use of words in a structured and acceptable way, is known as a language. Everybody has a language. You have a language through which you talk or communicate with other people. Similarly, I and other people around you use language to communicate their messages or ideas with each other, isn't it? Communication is sending of information when you want to talk with someone. It basically means you want to send information or share information with someone. Now that information can be shared by multiple ways, but the most common way is through a language. Like Sindhi language, Urdu language, or English language, or any other language. So you basically use any language to share your information or to communicate with other people. Other than the language that we speak verbally, we can communicate by writing, sending signals to people, or by showing facial expressions to show either we are angry, happy, or sad. This is called communication through non-verbal language. So the verbal language is the most preferred form of the communication. Like I said, language is basically the method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in a structured and accepted way in the society. Like right now I'm talking to you, I'm using the language to communicate my ideas to you. On the other hand, the text that appears on your screen is the written information that I'm communicating to you without speaking. So it's a non-verbal language. So, communication means to share your ideas with someone by using a particular language. And so, we use a language to communicate, to send messages, to talk with someone, or to share our ideas with different people. Like I am communicating with you using a language. This is the scanned page from your student's book of Unit 1. This page is called Looking Forward page. On this page, we get to know what we'll be learning in this whole unit. For now, I just want you to focus on the background of the Looking Forward page and tell me, what do you think the picture on the Looking Forward page of this unit represents? The picture represents languages of the world by showing different flags of the country. It shows that the world has number of languages that people speak. Can you name 3 world languages other than Urdu, Sindhi, and English? Now that you have a sort of an idea that there are so many languages spoken in the world, do you know exactly how many languages are there in the world? Which language has the most speakers? Which language is the most important? Well, let's find out the accurate answers to these questions by exploring the text World Languages. Pause the video, read the whole text, and find out the answers to these questions. Were you able to find the answers to these questions? How many languages are there in the world? Well, Nobody is sure of the exact number of the languages in the world. Some books says there are 4,000 and 5,000 languages, but then some people say there are 10,000 languages in the world. Nobody is exactly sure about the total number of the languages. Which language has the most speakers? English is the largest language in the world. If we count both native and non-native speakers, it means people whose mother tongue is English and people who have different mother tongue but still they know how to speak in English. So the total number of these people make the English language the largest language in the world. But if you count only native speakers, Mandarin Chinese language has the most speakers in the world. Mandarin Chinese is the largest language in the world when counting only first language speakers. Which language is the most important? Well, everyone will say that their own language, own native language or the mother tongue is the most important language in the world. However, in my opinion, today English language is the most important language in the world because it is used almost for every purpose. In schools, by pilots or all workers, in a lot of jobs around the world. Did you get your answers correct? Which language is the most important? Again, you can see there are the most spoken languages in the world are these: English, Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi, Punjabi, Bengali, Chinese, Russian and Japanese. These are the most spoken languages in the world, and these all languages are important. Now look at the text, how it is written, and answer the given questions. Please note that you won't be able to find these answers in the text. For that, you need to focus on the structure of the text and see how the text is written. This text has answered 3 questions. This text uses a common structure of expository texts, which is to ask a question and then to give, explain, discuss the answer in the same text. Now, take a minute to read the questions and then answer these questions. How many sections are there in the text? Well, there are 3 sections in the text. What starts each section? Each section starts with a question. What is the rest of each section? The rest of each section answers the question. Now that I hope you have a good understanding of world languages by reading the text, now you are supposed to do your post-lesson tasks. These tasks are your homework. You are supposed to write the answers of all the questions in your English notebook or any other notebook if you don't have your English notebook for now, and submit the scanned image of your work in the homework activity on Moodle. You can also use a Word document file to write in your answers. But don't forget to give the correct numbers to all the answers. You can pause the video and write your answers. This is the first activity. This is the second activity. This is the third activity that you need to do. Here, look it up does not mean to look up the ceiling or the fence, but look it up means to find something in a dictionary or any other source. So you might want to grab a dictionary and look for the difficult words in it. Again, pause the video and write your answers to submit on Moodle. For this activity, you need to understand a little bit here. I'm sure you must have used dictionaries in your previous grades. How do you find any word in the dictionary? Dictionaries always lists the words in alphabetical order, isn't it? And this order of words makes easy for us to find any word in the dictionary. In this activity, you have to put these words in an alphabetical order. It's just the better you know the English alphabet, the quicker you can arrange the word in order. Let's do the first one together. There are 4 names given and we have to put them in alphabetical order. So how we will do that? The names are Anika, Paulo, Femi, and Lynn. We have to put these names in alphabetical order. So Anika starts with letter A, and no any other words has A as first letter. So of course, Anika goes first. Now, what comes after A? Of course, B, C, D, E, F. Oh, there we have a word with letter F, that is Femi. So, Femi would be our second word in the list. Similarly, next is Paulo, and of course, Lynn is the last as the letter L comes after the letter P. So this is how you have to do it. If two or more than two words start with the same letter, look at the second letter of each word now. And if two or more than two words start with the same letter, and if two or more than two words start with the same first two letters, then you look at the third letter and so on. For example, number 5 starts with the same letter, C, continent, country, communicate, and conversation. So you'll look at the second letter of these words, O. But all these words contain same second letter. That's O in continent, country, communicate, and conversation. So how about to look at the third letter now? N. U, M, and N. Alright, so M comes before N and U. So we'll write communicate first. And then now we have two words with same third letter. That's N. So we'll look for the fourth letter now, T and V. So T comes before V. So our second word would be continent. And like so, we have to arrange the words in alphabetical order. It's time to wrap up the lesson. Once you are done with this part of the video lesson, you are required to give your feedback by telling me 3 things you learned from this part of the lesson in the forum activity on Moodle. Also, if you have any questions or queries related to this part of the video lesson, please post it on forum. I'll surely get back to your queries. So that was it for this lesson. In the next lesson, you'll listen to people expressing feelings using sounds and tone of voice. Basically, we'll practice listening. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.